Hi, and welcome back to the How I Did It mini-series. In this episode, we're going to be covering my journey as an entrepreneur and how I got started in business. So let's get into it right now. After COVID hit, I was laid off from my job and I needed to find a way to make money. Fortunately, I had recently purchased a brand new laptop which I was using for my data science program which I was enrolled in at the time. So I figured the best thing to do was to figure out how I could make some money on my own from my laptop. This is when I started reselling sneakers. I would rent online software called bots, which I would use in order to obtain the latest sneaker drops and the latest luxury items. Once I obtained these items, I would then turn around and resell those items to luxury goods and sneakers at a 12 to 40% profit margin. And it was going well. In fact, it was going so well that I began looking for ways that I could scale this opportunity. I figured if I could get more bots and run more software, I could obtain more sneakers and more luxury items to in turn make more money for myself. But in order to get more software, I needed a way to get more capital. I needed a way to get my hands on more money so that I could grow and scale my business. This led me down a rabbit hole of information surrounding credit and the consumer lending space. Since I'd already had a positive experience in the past with a mentor, the next mentor that presented himself as an expert when it came to obtaining capital, I took a leap of faith. And the rest is history. In his mentorship, I was exposed to things that I had never been exposed to before, not in any type of formal education or even at the collegiate level. I began to learn about the lending system. I learned about business, capital acquisition and marketing techniques, and so much more. I was also exposed to a community of like-minded individuals, which would expedite my journey as an entrepreneur. I began to go to local meetups and networking events. I became close with other entrepreneurs and business owners, some which were doing much better than I was, and others that weren't doing as well as I was. Eventually, my mentor would break off his 7,000 plus students into nationwide chapters by state. The person chosen as our chapter president was someone who I had grown very fond of and became very close with. His first task as chapter president was to establish a leadership team within our chapter. He asked me to take on a leadership role to work with him as the executive team, but I respectfully declined this opportunity simply because I felt like I wasn't good enough and I felt like I wasn't qualified for the role. Once all the executive roles were filled, our executive team was tasked with creating committees within the chapter, which allowed the network to grow and unify together. The only committee that was mandatory was the Financial Literacy Committee, in which I was chosen out of 400 plus representatives by our executive team to lead this committee. This was my first experience with coaching others, and this would lead me to where I am today. Since then, I've continued to invest in myself in various mentors surrounding consumer law, stock options, and corporate sales and marketing. I believe one of the most important things that we can do as a business owner is to continue to invest in ourselves and never stop learning. At this point, I've invested what some would consider a 4-year tuition on my own personal and professional development. In the next episode, I'll be covering how I was able to turn a $3,000 credit card into a $23,000 credit card literally overnight. And I was able to use this credit card to purchase my first mentorship. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one.